Hey, what's up? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of SimplyPodLogical, a simply Nailogical podcast.
Are you okay? You didn't call them super simps.
Okay, we don't have to talk about this every time. Let it just be a surprise. Today we're doing something really fun. Okay, Cristine?
Okay.
This is Cristine's idea. She knows how much we love doing quizzes on the podcast.
I like quizzes. You don't like quizzes.
It's okay. I actually do think this is going to be fun. I'm not just saying that. We're doing, a bunch of people have suggested this. It's a D&D moral alignment test, I guess you could say. So what it is just a series of questions that sort of plots you on a chart as to whether you are good, evil, chaotic, neutral, orderly.
Lawful.
Yeah. And so this originated in the role-playing game Dungeons and Dragons.
Are you familiar with Dungeons and Dragons?
I'm somewhat familiar with Dungeons and Dragons. So for anyone who doesn't know, that's like a role-playing fantasy game where you sit around with a bunch of friends and like you make a character, like I'm an elf or I'm a warlock, and I guess at the start of the game you make a character for yourself to role play as.
Wait, sorry, I don't understand. Was it a board game or like a computer game or just let's meet in person at a sleepover and like hide and seek game?
Yeah, you play hide and seek and you're pretending to be a warlock. No, it's there's not a board. Like you'd have we really don't need to get into this.
Well,
you have a
but
book.
I would like to understand. That's all.
You are role playing as you make yourself a character. Like I'm an elf, and you get together with your friends
in real life,
and you go on like missions. And what do you mean in real life?
Like
you're not
meet up with your friends at a house to do this, or can you play online?
I mean, you could probably do it on Zoom if you wanted, but people typically would get together.
Yeah.
In the 80s and 90s, in a room in their basement, maybe. And they would pretend to be elves and orcs and dwarves and like go on missions together. But anyway, the point is, it's in your head.
Have you ever played or had friends who played? Do you have like any?
So I knew people who played it. Like I had some older cousins, I want to say, who did it. Okay. But for people my age, I think typically we grew up with, like I was interested in fantasy stuff for a while, but I had Diablo 2. And Baldur's Gate. There were video games where I could be an orc. Or play as a warrior, so I didn't have to use my imagination.
I was Lara Croft from Tomb Raider.
Were you?
My fantasy game.
That's my fantasy game too, actually.
No, I wanted to be her. Ben!
Anyway, Dungeons and Dragons. But to start that game, you would be like, hey, I'm an orc, but I need to answer a series of questions to figure out whether I'm
an evil,
good,
chaotic orc.
Evil, chaotic. Yeah, exactly. It would put your moral alignment, because it's not about like figuring out what you personally are, right? It's about
human?
I want to role play as an orc. Maybe I want to decide I'm evil, or I'd be more inclined to do evil versus good things.
Yeah, so this D&D test, from what I understand, like it used to be more about how you identify as a character in terms of like your purpose and your goodwill towards others and your moral decision making, but it's been co-opted a little bit more by a broader audience who uses it just as a more general alignment test of like, how do you make your decisions in life?
Yeah,
right?
if you've seen this recently, you've probably seen a meme on Twitter, maybe.
Yes.
Where like someone will take the characters from The Office and say like, Jim is chaotic good, but Michael is chaotic evil. I don't know. Like that's probably not a good example, but something like that.
Yeah, true neutral is Pam, or I don't know. I just made that up.
we're neither of us are Office fans. I don't know why we're using that. A funny example actually was I saw one about like, you could tell by the way you put a bookmark in a book indicates what your moral alignment is.
How many different ways are there to put?
So if you just truly use just a plain bookmark, you're just true neutral. If you use the fancy ribbon to indicate your page,
with the sash.
You're lawful good.
What if you fold the corner of the page?
That's the thing.
Chaotic evil.
Exactly. If you fold the page, you're chaotic evil. Good guess. But if you use a piece of scrap paper to mark your page, that's chaotic good. It's not evil, but it's still chaotic, right? So this gives you an example of like the...
What if you made a bookmark out of glue in your space maker?
What's a space maker?
You never had a plastic space maker where you hit all your markers and highlighters at school?
No.
Am I
Why
alone?
were you hiding your markers?
Well, not
From
hiding,
who?
but I would, from the teacher. I'd just store all my my highlighters in my space maker, and then I'd fill the top with glue. I'd color under it, and then I'd let it dry, and I'd get this marbled glue bookmark.
Space Maker was just a hard pencil case?
Yeah, it was plastic.
Okay, I think I can picture it. It had like bumps on the top.
It said Space Maker in the middle, and we'd fill it with glue and let it dry. You never did that? You're no fun as a
Who's
kid.
we?
Just all kids, Ben.
Did you also play Dungeons and Dragons with
No,
these
I
friends?
was filling my pencil cases with glue.
Okay, anyway, I think we've kind of established what this alignment test is. So
Yeah.
I think we're going to do it. Are we going to answer as ourselves, or are we sort of fantasizing
No,
we're
we're
some
gonna
characters?
answer as I want the truth. Nothing but the truth.
You could answer as Laura Croft, Tomb Raider.
Angelina Jolie, yeah. She's
Okay.
just amazing. That's her alignment. Just fascinating human being.
Angelina Jolie?
Yeah.
I didn't know you're a big fan of hers.
I mean, she's done a lot of things in her life. It's
I mean, a lot of people have done a lot of things.
I know
That
she's
doesn't mean
accomplished a
they're-
lot. Okay, whatever. This isn't the Angelina Jolie podcast. But like, okay, we will put the link for this test down below. We're not affiliated with it or anything. We just found it. And I gather that this is the test that a lot of people do when they talk about the alignment test. I
Yes.
think we found the right one.
Yes, we are not endorsing this test.
No.
But you're welcome to try it out for yourself. EasyDamus.com alignment test. Okay, Cristine, we're both going to do this at the same time. First question 1. Family elders are expressing disapproval of you to the rest of the family. Do you accept the criticism and change your ways? Seek a compromise with them? Besmirch the reputation of those expressing disapproval as you ignore their scorn? Or do you silence them any way you can?
Before we begin, I know Ben is going to tell me not to think too hard because but I need to get this out of the way.
Okay.
Obviously, the right answer to this is that the context matters. Like, why are your elders disapproving of you? Are they correct or incorrect? Are they unreasonable? That totally changes my answer. I just I feel like I have to say that I cannot give you one of these answers without people being like, "Oh, I'm not sure. That's a bad take, Cristine." Without you understanding that, like, no, it would definitely change.
Let's
my answer.
assume you don't agree with why they are disapproving of you.
Okay, then I would besmirch the reputation of those expressing disapproval as I ignore their scorn.
I like that one. I'm glad you didn't pick silence them anyway.
Nah, I don't care that much. I'm not vengeful.
Why would Okay, moving on. 2. Would you give up a promising career to aid the family in time of need?
Whose family? The family.
Shout out to their family. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, so I look at this differently. Again, we don't want to get into context, everyone. I'm just gonna think when I think of family, I think of you, Menchie, and Zyler.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, that changes it.
That
If you think
does
of different
change it.
family, it's going to change your answer.
So would I give up a promising career? I mean, we both made sacrifices in our day job to help advance
the family.
the online
The family.
the family
The online, the Simply family.
to support Menchie and Zyler. Yeah.
They went to college thanks to our efforts.
So I'm gonna say the options were in a heartbeat, yes with some reluctance, only if I was certain I'd be able to return to my career soon, or no. So I'd say yes, but it's not like I wouldn't do it without reluctance.
it really matters how important this family is to me.
Well, how important am I to you?
But if it's you, then obviously yes with some reluctance.
Would you give up your promising YouTube career if you needed to support me in a time of need?
But my YouTube career already supports you. This doesn't make sense then.
Okay, what if I wanted to be Prime Minister of Canada, and me and my
You're gonna make
communications
me choose
manager?
between you and Justin?
Yeah, who would you vote for? What if my PR people were like, Cristine, we can't have you pretending to eat nail polish on the internet if you're gonna be,
I mean, I could consider maybe kind of changing my content, but I wouldn't quit entirely.
No.
I wouldn't sacrifice everything. I
And
think
I
we'd have
wouldn't
to come
want
to
you
a
to.
compromise. Yeah. So maybe yes with some reluctance.
Yeah, I think I'd rather.
Yes with much reluctance.
Okay, same answer. 3, would you betray a family member to advance your own career? A, yes, without a twinge of guilt. B, yes, if I could do it secretly. 3, I'd resist the temptation. Or 4, I find the very idea abhorrent.
Okay, I really hate these questions because the definition of a family member can vary so much. And I guess maybe the the place where I'm coming from is, for me, just because someone is related to you by blood does not make me think I automatically am going to do whatever I can to support them or help them. Because just because you're blood related doesn't mean like they're a good person who deserves whatever it is you might need to make the decision on.
Well, yeah, I'd betray my third cousin Gary in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
That guy can go fuck himself.
Yeah, or someone you don't like who's a dick to you.
No, the
like,
point of the question is like, this is someone who actually should. If
I
you're a
don't
good
think
person,
so,
you
though.
shouldn't betray
But
your family.
I'm not sure, because I think some of these questions are angled that, like, regardless of who it is, family is family. You should make decisions regardless of whether it's like your spouse that you love or like some third cousin that you're forced to like because, I don't know, they represent riches in the family.
If family is someone I actually truly care about, then I find the very idea abhorrent.
I'm thinking.
Come
Because
on.
I don't like this classification of family member.
Then why do you
having
like
to be-
doing quizzes on the podcast?
Because they make you think, Ben, and I think that that's part of it. They make you think, and I think there should be some variability and flexibility into, how you define.
Okay, why don't you just do it secretly then? Christine.
Okay, I would do it. No, I'd resist the temptation.
Okay.
But
okay, I appreciate
I would
that.
be tempted depending on who it is.
Okay, I think there's just a few more family questions.
Okay,
Hopefully we get
great.
out of this block. Do you respect the leaders of your family? Their words guide my actions. B, they're role models for me. 3, they're often out of touch with my life. 4, they're out of touch with reality.
I picked the last one.
In some ways, for us with kind of unconventional lives,
No one is a leader of a family. That's why I picked the last one. You're out of touch with reality if you say you're the leader of your family.
that's a good
so,
answer.
there you go.
Okay, question 5. If your family had arranged your marriage to someone loathsome, would you A, go through with it, proud to serve your family? B, agree hiding your reluctance? C, subtly work against the union? Or D, flee?
They had to pick someone you hate. Couldn't they pick someone you didn't mind?
What a
Damn.
crazy question. So
I would flee.
you would flee the
immediately.
marriage, yeah?
And also seek vengeance. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. I would just flee. Get out fast.
Get out. Okay, question 6. You're estranged from a family member. On his deathbed, he seeks reconciliation. Do you A, speak to him but hold your ground? B, refuse to speak to him? C, discuss your estrangement openly and without rancor? Or D, actively seek reconciliation and heed his dying words?
What does rancor mean? Rancor?
Like without,
Rancor.
you're not like angry and upset and getting mad at them.
Oh, so you would discuss your estrangement with them and not be mad?
Yeah. Like you're not gonna like scream at some guy on his deathbed because you had some disagreement, right?
I'd probably do that. It's not really a refusal to speak to. I might just like not go, but I don't think it's like a refusal. I feel like I'm in the middle of the middle,
Yeah, okay.
neutral.
Discuss your estrangement openly without rancor.
but
I
not
think we-
necessarily go and hold their hand,
Depends why you're estranged, too.
If they hurt
obviously.
you, they hurt you, so.
But I think you would generally like I have this attitude that if someone's in their last moments and you're just trying to, even if you say something you don't believe, it's just to give that person comfort. I could see myself doing that, even if like in my head I truly didn't believe we had come to.
Yeah, I
You
think
know?
I think it depends. If that person really hurt you, I don't think you have to give that to them.
But I guess, are you like me? Like I'd be willing to give that person comfort, maybe even if I truly didn't forgive them.
Yeah, I think there's a spectrum there. I don't think it's black and white for sure.
Okay, question 7. A powerful but corrupt judge offers you wealth if you'll testify against your friend.
Ooh, creator's court.
Do you condemn your friend and take the money? B, take the money and testify, but try to keep your testimony ineffective.
So
C,
lie on the stand.
C, refuse the offer and refuse to testify. Or D, testify on your friend's behalf no matter the consequences.
I'd probably refuse the offer and refuse to testify. Just keep me out of it would be my personality.
Okay.
Avoid all of that shit. Avoid the drama.
Have we answered every question the same
Well,
so
stop
far? I think
copying
I'm
me.
copying your homework. Yeah, I feel like I'm a loyal person to friends. I think you are too. We just don't have many.
Thanks, man.
Do you become close friends or hold most people at a safe distance?
6 feet.
Let's answer
Is there a
pre-pandemic.
6 feet option?
A, I have an abundance of close friends. B, I have some close friends. C, I have very few close friends. Or D, I try to keep people at a distance.
I mean, like, do subscribers count?
All right, Cristine says, I try to keep people at a distance.
No, don't put that. I have a few.
You have few close.
Few, yeah.
Again, we're the same, right? We don't have a big circle of... I think it's better to have like a few friends you can really count on.
Yeah.
And share your life with.
I don't know how it's possible to have so many friends and they're all close. Like, how do you have time?
Yeah, what does that really mean?
Logistically, I do not understand.
If I see someone with like 500 Facebook friends, I'm like, those aren't your friends.
No, they're
You're not
just
friends.
acquaintances.
Barely. 9, have you ever betrayed a friend? A, I've done so more than once, and I sometimes get away with it. B, I've done it so once. C, I've been tempted to do so, but I've never gone through with it. D, I'd never contemplate such a thing.
I don't really know.
I wouldn't betray a friend. I would just cut them out of my life if there was a reason to do that.
Yeah, like what counts as a betrayal?
I don't know, Christine. You have to use your imagination. You're an elf. I'm an orc.
And I really want your loaf of bread, so I steal it from your tent
That's your betrayal.
on my unicorn.
Okay, so
I don't know.
Have you ever betrayed a friend? You want to get deep on
I mean,
this
I
one?
think it would be dishonest to say that you've never even thought about it. Like, okay. I think it's more realistic to say you've been tempted, but you made the decision not to do with it, because what matters most is your actions.
Gotcha. I see you.
So obviously you're lying.
Yes.
You just picked the socially desirable response.
Well, of course. 10, how do you view lifelong commitment to a single romantic partner? Uh-oh. A, I hate or want. I have or want.
What are you thinking?
Ooh, is that a Freudian slip there?
Man.
So A, I have or want
I hate
such
my
a
partner.
romance. B, such a romance would be ideal if it's achievable. C, I worry I'd miss out on what others have to offer. Or D, tie yourself to one person, ? Huge mistake.
Wow. The answer to this can really vary depending on your age and where you are in your life.
Well,
I feel
yeah.
like this one is totally subjective to your age. Right?
I mean...
Because I think more younger independent people have more the idea like they want to see what's out there before they commit.
Yeah, and that's
Potentially. Well, not
normal.
always.
Do you see a difference between the first two, I have or want, versus that is ideal if it's achievable? Because
Yeah,
even
I
if
think-
you're in a huge, perfect relationship to you at the time, there's still this idea of like that is the ideal.
No, I think the difference is the top one is that without question it's going to happen. Like you want it. But the second one is a little more realistic. Like if it's achievable, if it makes sense with that partner, that is ideal. But I'm not just going to force it to happen if it doesn't. So I think that second option is the more realistic option.
It is, right?
Yeah, it's the more logical option.
We're on the
But
same
I
page.
just explained that to you, and you're only on that page because I explained it to you. What was your first gut reaction?
No, it was to go to that one, but I was worried.
Was
I
it?
was worried you'd be upset that I didn't pick the first one.
No, I think the first one's like just living in the clouds.
Yeah. Okay, we're both too pragmatic for that, I guess.
I'm a logistician from our last test, so...
But I mean, that's not to say... Okay, yeah, anyway, I don't want to get too deep on this one. If it's all about commitment, then I have no issue answering the first option either. If it's just about commitment to a partner in general.
Yes.
11, do you insist on repayment when lending money to friends?
Ooh.
Yes, and I write up a contract so there's no misunderstanding. B, yes, but I try to be flexible without the exact about the exact terms. C, no, although it's sure nice to be repaid. Or D, no, they just owe me a favor.
Interesting question. I feel like it depends. But yeah, like if I'm thinking back to university days, you know, I'd loan friends money to buy alcohol or something, and I never wrote up a contract for them to repay me that amount.
Sure.
And I never even necessarily required that I get that exact $25 back. But them, you know, owing me purchasing the alcohol next time was kind of the understanding. So is that just owing me a favor or nice to be repaid. Not sure. I feel like I'm somewhere in there on a casual basis. However, if this is like a big loan of like, $10,000 or something, or I guess the number is subjective. But if it's a big loan to you in that situation, then there should be terms.
Sure, yeah. Like I'm not mortgaging a friend's house, right?
Yeah.
But if it's like, hey, I'm paying for us to go on a night out or a trip or something, even, especially if you have friends with means, it's kind of nice to like, you're not like accounting every dollar you're spending. It's better to just like,
Yeah.
kind of repay the favor sort of thing.
Yeah, I hate nickeling and diming people who are friends and family. If it's a business relationship, then there's a contract. That's just literally how it should be done. But if this isn't about that, then I think I would choose no, but it's nice to be repaid, because the favor one for me suggests like if they repaid you, it would be perceived as a favor, but like it's not a favor because you helped them out first. So that's why I think it should be.
It really just matters if it's a tax write-off more than anything,
Okay.
right? Okay, 12. Are you still in touch with childhood friends? A, yes, we correspond regularly. B, yes, we try to keep in touch. C, no, I move around too much. Or D, no, I don't have anything in common with them anymore.
Let's ask the fib finder.
So I don't keep in touch with many people I knew as a child.
Me neither. Because like you're like 6. You have different interests now. You're probably different people.
Well, it's not just at 6 years,
Your childhood?
When does
I don't know.
childhood end?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people grow up even if it's not just childhood friends, if you think of your friends from high school, like I went down a totally different path than everyone from high school. I didn't even like anyone. Well, most people in my high school. And I think that's fine to move on, too. I feel like this question is phrasing it in a way that almost makes you feel like you're lacking if you are still not friends with your childhood friend because you grew up in the same community or something.
Are you projecting that meaning behind the question?
No, but so far this quiz is like, are you loyal to your family and your elders and the people who you were born into society with? And it's like, I don't know, man. Like, that's not how life works,
I'm going to say I move around too much because I actually find like my biggest issue with maintaining friendships, and I sometimes have trouble maintaining friendships just because we have so much going on that I don't invest as much time into them as I should. I think that's one of my biggest flaws as a human being.
Okay. I would put no. We don't have anything in common.
Okay. Question 13, do you donate time and money to improve the local community?
Cats.
Are
they?
Yes.
Is the community cats?
Do you donate time and money to improve the local cat community? A, yes, the needs of the cat community are my top priority. B, yes, I donate as much as I can once my own needs are met. C, no, I don't have enough time or money to spare. Or D, my local community would be a waste of time and money.
What? Okay.
Supporting your community is a waste.
Definitely, yes, I donate as much as I can once my needs are met because it's important to take care of yourself.
You got to take care of yourself before you can take care of other people, right?
Yeah.
14, your community is threatened with invasion. What do? Do you help defend it to your last breath?
Invasion by what, though?
B,
Defense.
defend the area with the rest of your community. C, flee as soon as things look grim. Or D, cut a deal with the enemy to act as a spy.
The last one sounds kind of fun.
Well, that was Christine's gut reaction, so that's her answer.
Maybe invasion isn't a bad thing. Like, maybe we're being invaded because we need to be eradicated. Like, maybe we're just terrible.
Maybe you deserve it.
Maybe we deserve it. I don't know.
This one would be easy to answer if I'm like setting up an orc in Dungeons and Dragons, I think it's like the smart thing to do is like you defend it, but I'm gonna run once things are looking pretty bad, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not a good fighter. I definitely wouldn't be in the let me go defend right away, sir. Like, I'm not good.
Question 15, if you were injured and required immediate assistance, would members of your hometown agree to help you? A, yes, because they know I'd do the same for them. B, yes, because I'm generally well-liked in my hometown. C, probably not, because I'm distrusted in my hometown. Or D, definitely not. I've made some enemies in my hometown.
See all the focus on like hometown, your elders, childhood friends, like it's like a world I don't relate to. I'm like, what is this hometown
I don't
shit?
even know my neighbors.
What is a community that isn't an online community?
Well, what if it's the YouTube community?
Okay, well that changes the question drastically.
Well, would people in the YouTube community care about you?
I don't know. Do you think Susan knows who I am? I think so. I think YouTube would, stand up for me if something happened.
You're generally well liked in your YouTube community. I think.
I don't have beef with other YouTubers. So hopefully, if I ever needed their help, they would support me.
I think maybe I'm more distrusted.
Why is that?
I'm a little more distrusted, you
Why?
know? You're like the nice one, and I'm like, yeah.
Why? Because of your hummus nonsense? Like, why?
What does that mean?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. You have to explain. Why are you distrusted in your hometown?
No, it's my secret. You can never know.
Okay.
Question 16. Do you respect the laws and authorities of the community? Yes, without question. B, yes, they're generally the best way to govern. C, when it suits me. There are some laws I just don't agree with. Or D, I don't pay attention to the authorities. They've got no hold on me.
I mean, this is literally, do you respect the law? And I think the right answer is yes, they're generally the best way to govern. And I know that sounds biased because I work for the government, but if you respect laws without question, I feel like that's kind of an issue, and you should, as a human, like look into it and understand them too. I feel like that's important. I also appreciate that like laws are a way to govern and also maintain order, and I think that some of that is a good thing.
Well, yeah, we're not a bunch of libertarians.
I don't think if you were to say when it suits me, there are some laws I don't agree with, and therefore implying that you're just going to do whatever you want when it suits you, I feel like that's incredibly selfish and not in the best interest of all if other people are following the law. Yeah. So inherently, I feel like that's not a good take.
Yeah, it's the best way to govern, I think, is the only reasonable answer here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean,
unless
I
could murder people when it suits me.
I mean, if it suits you. If they betrayed your family, then you can,
Like, we're not people who don't question authority, but I think we are pretty inclined to order and good governance is sort of a principle, and what people kind of think of like Canadian governance as like an ideal. And I know like sometimes that might mean you're like a little too trusting of authority sometimes. I guess that would be the criticism. But I'd rather be that than some asshole who is completely like deferent or like completely to question authority to the point where you're just like not observing like basic rules of humanity that helps our society move forward.
Mm-hmm. Or not using evidence to back up any of your decisions or laws.
Yeah, that's where we're coming from. All right, question 17. Do members of your hometown shun, avoid, or mock you? I mean, they've seen us on the internet.
YouTube comments.
Yes.
Now reread the question.
I mean, yes, their small minds can't handle anyone outside the norm. First answer, I'm just going to answer it. B, some do because I don't always fit in. C, no, I'm generally seen as normal. D, no, I set the standard for what is normal in my community.
Ooh, queen.
What does that mean?
I would say some do because I don't always fit in. I've got horse girl hair.
That's why you don't fit in?
That's why I don't fit in.
18, would you stand for office or seek to represent the interests of the community in some public manner? A, to do so would be an honor. I joyously accept. B, of course, it's everyone's duty to do so. C, only if no one else could handle the job. D, no, I don't want to be responsible for the community's welfare. It is something I would only reluctantly want to do.
It's like joining the social committee. When no one else wants to do it, but you feel like, shit, I better do this or else we're not going to have good snacks. You kind of you take on that responsibility. And that's exactly what you did, Ben.
Is that what you want to talk? Yeah, I was in charge of the social committee at work for a while.
You did good. Until it got shut down.
We raised a lot of money selling chocolate bars.
Yeah, how much profit you take there, Ben?
I didn't don't tell anyone I got a cut.
Yeah. He did not. He's joking. But yeah, like I feel
That's my civic duty,
in that
selling chocolate
situation,
bars.
I'm like, nope, I don't want it. Nope, I don't want the responsibility. Nope, I don't want people coming to me asking me about what chocolates are available. Like, I don't feel like that's where I help.
You know, that was an interesting, like, so I would like plan like the Christmas party and stuff for the year or two that I did that. You know, so like I thought I did a good job. And it was funny, the people who complained the most about like decisions I was making
Never volunteered.
were also the people who never volunteered or like didn't even show. Like I remember one guy always questioning things I was like deciding and wanting to do. And like, he's like, oh, like we can't have the party there. It's too far from my house. And then he was the guy who never showed up to parties anyway.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people can relate to that, and they never understand that. You do it, but the problem is no one wants to do it, and then everyone's unhappy, and it's really easy to complain if you're not the one who has to make the decisions.
Yeah, a lot of people would rather complain than do anything.
See,
That's my outlook on people.
I definitely didn't want to do anything, but I also didn't complain, right?
Yeah, thank you.
I didn't lodge any complaints against
hid in
the
the
social
corner
because I never attended the events. Or I only did to support you, but...
So, would you...
No, I don't want to be
You don't wanna
responsible
be
for the community's
responsible?
welfare. As much as, like, I love the community, I don't think I can, stand up and represent the interest because I'm just not good at doing that. Not a good public speaker.
Okay, moving on.
Says the person on YouTube.
19, your country is racked with famine. Would you A, share what food you had with others? B, eat as little as possible yourself and share the rest? C, steal what food you needed to survive? Or D, steal as much food as possible, then sell it back to the community at a high price?
It's a crypto scam.
You know, I was marking up those chocolate bars we sold in the social committee canteen.
Well, the social committee had to make a profit, but that's not you making a profit, right?
Yeah, right.
Damn.
I would eat as little as possible. I'd go on a diet and share the rest.
You would go on a hummus diet? I do not believe it.
Oh, well, this wasn't a question specifically
Wait
about...
a second. Didn't you tell us on a recent podcast that you bought all the available tubs of hummus that were sitting in the store, leaving none for the others?
But I didn't steal it, and I didn't sell it back to the
Yeah, but you
starving
hogged it all
community.
for yourself. Steal what food you needed to survive. Steal all the hummus
I
you needed.
purchased it in a free market from a business that was trying to make money and told me they didn't want my money anymore.
But there's no option that I legally purchased the food. There's just, I took it all to eat it.
Okay, I will steal what I need to survive, I
think
guess.
that's, like, you have to be
I'll
honest.
answer that way for
That's
you.
the closest in alignment to you.
So what are you going to do? Would you share?
I mean, like, it depends on the food. If it's a garbage bowl, I'm going to want that.
You're picky about food, right? You'd share it with it because you probably wouldn't like it.
Yeah, so I'd eat as little as possible and share the rest.
Okay. Question 20. If offered enough money, would you slip a poison into your king's drink?
Depends on what he did. What did he do?
Careful
What'd you do,
what we're
King?
using as examples here. Yes, I've done similar things before. B, yes, if I thought I could get away with it. C, no, although a vast sum of money would tempt me. D, no, and I'd warn the king of the plot.
Ooh, okay. So if the king did nothing wrong and there's nothing in the question indicating he did, it's just about offering you money. So, like, are you willing to kill the king for profit? I definitely wouldn't, and I would probably warn the king of the plot. Unless the king was someone we wanted to take down, then I wouldn't warn him, but...
Okay, neither of us are killing kings here. 21, a plague is sweeping across your country. Would you undertake a dangerous mission to find the cure? B, heal the sick as best you can. C, avoid contact with the sick.
COVID. I think this question's about COVID.
Or D, would you flee the country?
Some people did.
That is sort of the tempting, interesting ethical answer.
Yeah. Except,
Right?
yeah, if COVID didn't go everywhere, could people have escaped it?
Well, I was like, let's go to Australia.
No.
Let's get on a plane. Let's get out of here.
COVID is everywhere, so it doesn't matter. But this is so interesting. So I have no knowledge or abilities to be able to undertake a dangerous mission to find the cure. Like, I would not be helpful.
I mean, if you're the grand elf of Gandor, and you roll your 20-sided dice and you
Into
have
the volcano?
an immunity boost, and maybe you could go on that dangerous mission.
I would probably, like, if I'm being honest, I would stay out of people's way because I don't think I'm helpful, and I would avoid contact with the sick and do my part to not spread the plague. That's what I would do.
Yes, that is the very relevant answer today.
Well, I think most people would think, oh, I should, either undertake the dangerous mission to help or heal the sick. But, like, if you don't have those skill sets, you're not useful. So I'm acknowledging my lack of skill sets in this area and being honest that I would just avoid contact.
Starting to understand why people answer these questions if they're pretending to be elves and dwarves and stuff.
I'm answering them as a human, so I'm just being practical.
22, do you respect the lawful authority of the rulers of the land? A, yes, long live the queen.
The queen? I thought it was the king. I'm so confused.
B, our rulers are generally fair and just. C, a ruler is no better than anyone else. D, rulers are invariably corrupted by power.
Who am I supposed to imagine in this scenario? Who are the rulers of the land? Like,
Okay.
Is it Justin Trudeau or like what?
No, I think it's a kind of universal thing. I think all rulers are invariably corrupted by power. You see that in Canadian governments too. Usually they'll eventually lose elections because they get too used to power and they start making stupid decisions and maybe even a little bit of corruption.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong, and I think that does happen, especially over time. I'll probably soften it a little bit better because I think I could agree more to a ruler is no better than anyone else is kind of my end principle.
That's a good answer
Yeah.
too. And I feel like that's so lost in our discussions of like, people who express a lot of frustration with the ruling class, so to speak. I feel like there's this sort of presumption that if people who weren't in power now and that power was like shared with people who aren't in positions of power now, like it wouldn't just repeat that dynamic of people in power making decisions in their own self-interest. And I just think that's misguided. That's
Yeah.
sort of my personal philosophy on
Yeah,
things.
you don't know until you're there, and there's always going to be an imbalance in society, and that's just kind of what makes it a society.
Yeah, it's not to say you don't question that imbalance is disenfranchising a lot of specific people and groups, and you want a society that there's that interesting thought experiment. What was it, Rawls? Like, imagine a society where you get to pick how society is divided before you know what position you have in that society.
Interesting.
That's a way of conceptualizing a fair society, right?
Then you'll be unhappy with the results once you get your cards.
Well, no,
potentially.
if you should organize society in a way where you'd be happy no matter what sort of class or position you have within that social structure.
That never works out. It's like when roommates agree to draw from a hat who get what's room, and they all say they're all going to accept whatever it is because it was only fair. But then you get the results, and the people with the shittier rooms are not happy, even though they knew that it was a possibility.
But then you should build a house in which you would be happy with any room you
But
might
that's
end up
not,
in.
That's just not
That's a
possible or
fantasy.
realistic. Yeah. So, power imbalances.
All right.
Can't get around them.
Question 23. If you were offered a reasonably lucrative deal, would you spy for a hostile foreign power?
Ooh.
A, yes, because this nation could stand to be knocked down a peg. B, yes, because the nation's secrets mean little to me. C, no, because I might get caught. Or D, no, because I'd never violate the trust my nation puts in me.
Whose side are you on?
I don't want to get caught,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, the hostile
You're on the
foreign...
side of your nation.
Yeah, you're not on the side of the hostile foreign power, hence the word hostile. So, yeah, I'd pick the same one because it's not just about the trust of the nation. Because what if your nation also has, like, corrupt interests in power? So
That might be the case. 24, do you rely on the government to enforce contracts and property rights? Yes, because maintaining the rule of law is more important than any individual dispute. B, yes, because the courts are best equipped to handle such disputes. C, are you kidding me? Of course I don't sleep with a stuffed animal.
Shut up.
The government can even can't even pave roads. Or D, absolutely not. If I can't defend it myself, I don't deserve to have it. This is like libertarianism in a nutshell.
oh my god,
What do you think, Christine?
I don't know how to
If you
answer
can't
this
defend
one.
it yourself, can't you just like build your own roads and you could just build a house in the woods and you don't need to pay taxes and you
Get
could
my
just
own public school education.
grow your own food. You don't need any public services or social safety net
definitely
or
not.
publicly funded healthcare or anything like that.
No. Well, not everyone has that.
We don't
but
need
in
to
Canada.
live in a society. You could just trust property owners.
Yep.
It drives me nuts. Sorry if we want to go on a little aside here. I went down a YouTube rabbit hole because I guess there were some like debates recently between like libertarians and I was watching the Sam Cedar show actually.
Oh yeah.
And he debated some libertarian. And it's funny, I went down a rabbit hole watching clips of like libertarians calling into his show to try to argue with him why they advocate for a more libertarian society. And like I can go as far as like agreeing with some of these people in that they think maybe government should be smaller or have less power or influence in some aspects of life in some ways. But these people's arguments always fall apart if they're like truly libertarian when they start like talking about like property rights. Because what does it mean to own property if you do not have any sort of centralized power that enforces what it means to own property?
Yeah.
Society would just devolve into either chaos or just be the people with the most means and property and force essentially owning and controlling everything, which would just be like an oligarchy, right?
So you do need some, like we were saying earlier, some element of governance in order to maintain a baseline of like control, which is the wrong word because I also realize that people use that and then they go like, oh, so you want the government to control everything we do? That's not what we're saying.
Well, no, and your hope is that government actually represents the will
of the people. And it's a democracy. And, you know, I mean, I'm not saying democracies are perfect either. Leaders still make mistakes and bad decisions, especially as they continue to live in their world of power and that timeline increases. But, okay, let's answer the question.
Okay,
Do you rely on the government to enforce contracts and property rights?
I'm going to say yes, because the courts are best equipped to handle such disputes rather than me having a duel with my neighbor in the front lawn.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree too that not that the courts are like perfectly equipped to handle disputes and they are perfect, but just that of all of our options available to resolve the conflict, I think it should be a more like arbitration court process of the options available to resolve a property dispute. That's all. From a practical perspective, that will get you the best results for all in the most uniform, standardized way, hopefully. You just gotta we need oversight on the courts though.
25. If imprisoned, would you injure or kill others to escape? A, yes, serves them right for locking me up. B, yes, they knew the risk when they took the job.
Ooh.
C, no, except for minor wounds that will heal easily. D, no, those guards are just doing their jobs. Why are you in prison, Cristine?
Yeah, if I'm legally,
I knew you were gonna ask.
If I'm imprisoned for a crime that I committed and I did not follow the law of my community, then no, those guards are just doing their jobs.
Interesting. What if they just like got a minor wound? Like I just bopped him on the head and then I walked out the door.
Basically, you're saying you just want to have a little fun.
I'm just gonna bop him on the head.
But you're not gonna get an outcome out of that, so why bother? That's saying a lot about your personality.
No, I'm saying if I could escape by just bopping people on the head, I might do it. Question 26. Do you accept a noble's right to treat badly the serfs who work on his land?
What's a serf?
His the people who work for him, the elves, his elf servants.
Oh, servants?
It's just like in a serfdom, in a communal structure where like a king has people who are just working for him.
Okay.
Right?
Like the working class? I don't know.
Okay, yes. Well, no history lessons. Yes, they're lucky they're not slaves.
Okay, so working class but not... Oh my god, okay.
B, yes, because sometimes only fear will motivate them. C, no, nobles should rule as kindly as possible. Or D, no one has any right to treat another badly, period.
You should never treat workers or people under you poorly.
Yeah, I want to say you should rule as kindly as possible.
But you still need to rule.
Right?
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going.
In any sort of hierarchical structure, assuming it's justified, yes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So even though the last one like sounds appropriate, like no one has a right to treat another badly, like I also agree with that. But I wonder if that's also implying that as a result, you may not be able to rule effectively. So you still need to maintain your leadership enough to rule, but you need to make sure you're doing it appropriately and responsibly and kindly. So number 3.
Got it. Okay. Only a few left here. Let's get through them quickly. 27, you have accidentally committed a crime. Do
Oops.
you turn yourself in and attempt to make restitution to the victim? Do you turn yourself in throwing yourself on the mercy of the court? Do you hide your involvement, lying if you have to, or do you try to pin the crime on another? I'm going to hide my involvement.
I'm
I
going
think
to
that's the honest answer.
turn myself in, but throw the mercy because it was an accident and I can prove it.
Okay, there you go. 28, if guilty, would you confess to a crime? A, yes, because it is my duty to do so. B, yes, because it might get me a lighter sentence. C, no, I'd make the magistrates prove my guilt. Or D, no, and I'd try to prove my own innocence. I would make them try to prove my guilt.
I was going to say the same thing, and I kind of hate myself a little bit for it. But that's what you should do, and that's what your lawyer will instruct you to do.
Yeah, and never talk to cops, right?
Yeah, always hire a lawyer,
Yeah.
even if you're guilty.
Ask for a lawyer.
Yeah.
29, would you express a revolutionary political opinion if threatened with punishment? A, yes, I'd rather be punished than remain silent. B, yes, somebody's got to speak the truth. C, no, although I might privately express my opinions to friends. Or D, no, politics aren't worth getting worked up about. People are getting a little too worked up about politics these days, maybe.
Yeah, well, it makes sense, though. It's become on the forefront of everyone's minds for good reason in the last few years. So I understand it.
Yeah, but it doesn't always achieve anything just to be worked up about it. If there's nothing productive about that too, right?
To some extent, yes, but to some extent, just the awareness of it snowballing can help raise awareness, like on social media, etc.
Yeah, I'm just saying expressing opinions in and of themselves might not always be the smartest.
Yeah,
route.
they may not result in anything. So unless you're contributing to I don't know, some research or something that can actually be used to change, or you're in the policy making field, which isn't an option on this question. So,
yeah. But I mean, somebody's got to speak the truth.
I think somebody should.
I would speak
even
the
if
truth.
it's not you.
Although sometimes it might be smarter to be strategic and express it in silence. All right, let's be truth tellers. 30, while traveling, you witness an assault. You are ordered to testify, which will delay your travel significantly. Oh, man, I'm just trying to go on vacation.
Just trying to go to Fiji, man.
Do we slip out of town at night to avoid testifying? Deny we saw anything? Remain reluctantly, testify, and leave? Or remain until the trial's conclusion in case further testimony is needed?
Remain reluctantly, testify, and leave.
Yeah.
I'll stay on the island.
Have you ever been called to jury duty?
No.
I was once, and I was interested and kind of wanted to do it.
But you couldn't because you're in...
I think I mentioned or just indicated that I was a student, and I'm pretty sure they dropped me out of it.
Why would they ask you at such a young age?
I think as soon as you're 18, you end up on some roster where you could potentially...
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Good point.
And I don't want to say that they actually exclude students. I might have suggested, like, hey, I'm trying to...
Like you were busy.
How did I get out of it? I can't remember.
I can't remember either. It was too long ago, so don't say it.
Yeah.
He can't fact check himself, but
I kind of I would be interested in doing that now, and I kind of feel a little bit of a sense of like that is a
to make decisions. Yeah.
Well, no, that I think that is a good thing. I think that's an important function that people have a right to request a jury trial in some cases, and I think to participate in that process is not just interesting in like a sort of selfish way, but an important thing to do for your community.
Jury of your peers.
There you go. Okay, question 31. What is the best use of wealth? A, to help the destitute and less fortunate. B, to provide for the needs of friends and family. C, to stay on top of the heap yourself. Or D, to not only stay on top, but keep others from climbing to your level.
Keep others from climbing the mountain, the 100 layers.
I mean, obviously, the socially desirable answer here is to help less fortunate people.
Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely in between. I would provide for the needs of friends and family first, and then I would redistribute after that. In the same way I answered the other question about like community charities.
Exactly. And I think that is just honest,
That's
right?
just
I,
honest,
like as
yeah.
altruistic as people are, or charitable or philanthropic, like
You want to take care of yourself and the people close to you first.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like there's nothing
and what
wrong
does
with that.
best use even mean, right? Because
Yeah.
like your first inclination is like, what is the enjoyment of it? Maybe in some ways, because just like having a bank account with a huge number in it doesn't actually make you happy, right?
Some people it does. Some people like that.
Okay. All right. Moving on. When confronted by beggars, do you give generously, give moderately, give only what you wouldn't miss anyway, $1 or $2 at the most, or ignore them as you walk by?
So yeah. Walking around downtown Toronto, there was a lot of homelessness. And
It's true in Ottawa too.
yeah, I guess I'm picturing this from Toronto just because there was much more. And when I used to go to University of Toronto in high school, I vividly remember that for some reason. And for me, like, I'm just such a nervous, anxious person, and I was a young girl that I would walk by. And that was my my own coping mechanism to get through the city where I didn't feel safe as a young girl. That's a totally different reason for not donating to charity than this question is actually implying.
Well, I think most people agree you're better off contributing money to like soup kitchens and shelters than you are
Yeah.
giving cash to someone on the sidewalk, right? That's my perspective anyway.
Yeah, where there's a bit of oversight into how it's used. I can appreciate that.
But I think this is just trying to get at, would you give money to homeless people, right? So if we answer
I mean,
wrong, people are
I
gonna
like
think
to.
we're
I give money to good causes that help people.
okay. Let's just say give generously so no one gets mad at us.
Okay, but that's not. I just hope people understand. Like,
I know.
Logistically, what do
I
you
think
mean
people
here?
get
Yeah.
it. 33, by using magic,
Okay.
you could fool village merchants into thinking your copper pieces were made of gold.
Ooh.
Do you A, do that and buy as much as you can? B, do it but only cheat the rich merchants? C, no, it's too risky? Or D, those merchants have families to feed?
So should we say fuck the rich people anyways?
Don't the rich people have families to feed?
Yeah, but they're rich.
Or are
so
they the
who
nobles
cares?
with the serfs?
They won't miss it, is what this question is saying. Like, it doesn't matter if you screw over the rich people. It won't.
I
they
don't
won't
know.
miss it.
Morally, like, we're rich. I wouldn't like people stealing from
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, I would say no. Those merchants have families to feed.
There you go. Okay, 34. Only 3 left. You have 2 job offers. One pays more, but the other is secure and steady. Which do you
damn.
choose? Is this relatable?
True life.
A, definitely the lucrative job. Steady work sounds like drudgery. B, probably the lucrative job, although I'd look into the secure job. C, the secure job unless the other job was outrageously lucrative. Or D, definitely the secure job because I plan for the long term. You can't accept both jobs. This can't mimic real life.
Why
here.
not do both? Like, literally just do both.
If you truly had to pick between the 2 jobs,
Ben, do not
Christine,
do this to me. Like,
it wouldn't be the lucrativeness of the job that would dictate your decision. But that's easy to say after you've made a lot of money from the lucrative
made
job.
outrageously lucrative amounts. Yeah, I mean, if I'm thinking of at my core, if this was like a realistic decision I had to make, I know I would always say definitely the secure job because I plan for the long term.
Interesting. And I'm a little more risky than you. So I'd say I'd take the outrageously lucrative job over the secure job.
So you'd be a YouTuber instead of me.
But that's not how it worked out. 35. What's the best path to wealth? A, it's a matter of luck and being in the right place at the right time. B, staying flexible so you can take advantage of good opportunities. C, following a long-term plan that incorporates a comfortable level of risk.
Menti.
Bless me. Or D, hard work and perseverance.
Damn, like all of those are true. Literally all of those. There is not one thing that is not true there.
There's
I
all
think
of
there's
the
some
above
luck. I think there's some luck. I think you got to stay flexible and look for opportunities. I also think you might need to take some risks, and then you should think about it long term, and you got to work hard. Like, all of those are true.
But it's not saying which are true or untrue. It's saying which is the best.
The best path.
What's the line of
Yeah.
best fit here? I think over a lifetime, it's probably the long-term plan.
Yeah.
right?
It's probably a long-term plan that incorporates a comfortable level of risk.
Because even for
Not
people,
not just hard work. You're going to need a plan.
sure, success is, you have to put yourself in a position to be lucky. And
Yeah.
people who are successful, it's often, there's some component of luck.
The algorithm of life has to pick you up somewhere. So you got to place yourself the best to get picked up.
But people who have the habits and tendencies that lead to success over time tend to be,
Hardworking.
if we're talking about people who are like self-made in their success, I guess.
Like Kylie Jenner.
Yeah, Kylie Jenner is probably the hardest working person I know. So I would say following a long-term plan. How about
Yeah, that's the same.
that? Okay. Last question. If you accepted a job or contract, would you try to finish the task even if it got much more dangerous? A, yes, my word is my bond. B, yes, because it's good to have a reputation for dependability. C, you can bet I'd be renegotiating. Or D, if it's no longer a good deal, then the deal is off.
I'm the last one. If it's not a good deal, then the deal is off. I'm not just going to, yeah.
Sure.
If
And
you violated the contract and breached, I don't have to follow it.
yeah, I think I'd be renegotiating. That's what I would
I mean,
do.
maybe I'd make attempts to try and reconcile so we can work through this.
In
but
good faith, right?
if they're not listening to it and not doing it, then it's not a good deal.
There you go.
I'm not gonna
Okay.
sacrifice.
Let's see who's the elf and who's the warlock. All right, Cristine first. Cristine is chaotic neutral.
What does that mean?
Wow.
Should we read me and open yours? Okay, well, let's.
Well, let's open mine just because
Okay,
in case we're the exact same thing, we can
What's
just
the
read it
same,
once.
Ben is
Chaotic neutral.
Wait, is that bad? If we're the same because we have no way of balancing each other out?
Well, is this
we're
like
both
a-
crazy?
We answer so many the same. I figured this would happen. Maybe this is a good like relationship compatibility tool. You can use at home. So a chaotic neutral character follows his whims.
Or hers, or they.
They are an individualist first and last. They value their own liberty but don't strive to protect others' freedoms. Okay. They avoid authority, resents restrictions, and challenges traditions. A chaotic neutral character does not intentionally disrupt organizations as part of a campaign of anarchy. To do so, he would himself suffer. A chaotic neutral character may be unpredictable, but their behavior is not totally random. They are not as likely to jump off a bridge as to cross it. Chaotic neutral is the best alignment you can be because it represents true freedom from both society's restrictions and a do-gooder's zeal. However, chaotic neutral can be a dangerous alignment when it seeks to eliminate all authority, harmony, and order in society.
We've never wanted to eliminate order in society.
Did we answer
The heck?
any questions that implied? Just, I think maybe the family question. You know what?
It's the family stuff, but that's like so misguided.
I guess they're
So
using the
old school.
family as, a representation
Yeah.
of your respective authority.
Yeah, so we're definitely off here because if you replace this all with just like structures about governance rather than family, it'd be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the difference between Trudeau and my daddy.
Is Trudeau your daddy? Like, you avoid authority, resent restrictions. I think I can, understand that. I challenge traditions, I do. But I don't avoid authority.
Also, you're like not Are you chaotic?
Have you seen my nail polish shelf?
It's very organized and orderly.
Yeah, have you seen my office, though?
It's not very
It's not
orderly.
very organized. I feel like I do operate in chaos in terms of the tangible objects in my life. And also the number of things I have going on at the same time, right? It's kind of chaotic if you think about all the things that I'm doing at once and that all the jobs I'm trying to balance at once.
Yeah,
It's
our
a little
lives
chaotic.
are pretty chaotic.
So the neutral represents what, though, exactly?
Well, so I know they use the words good and evil here, but I don't think it's like in a very sort of facile, like superhero, supervillain kind of way. I think good implies the sort of like more orderly, altruistic decisions in, for your whole community, and evil implies maybe the more self-interested, selfish kind of decisions, not like evil, I'm a bad guy who's going to kill people.
So there's also scores underneath. We could see who,
You want
where we're
compare our scores?
slightly different. So we both scored highest on chaotic neutral, but we did like we're also the next we're both really close to true neutral. So good point.
Yeah.
We're not that chaotic. If we were, our next one would have been true neutral.
Yeah, on just the good and evil measures, I scored 7 for good, 11 for neutral, and 5 for evil. Cristine scored 9 for good, 11 for neutral, same as me, and 3 for evil.
So the conclusion is you're more evil than I am.
I am marginally more evil than you.
And I am more good.
There we go. There's our conclusion. But hey, we both got the best. It's weird that it tells you that this is the best alignment.
I think they say that for everything, just like horoscopes.
This is just like
I don't know. Like, why would they tell you that this is the best one you can get? Like, why would they say that?
I don't know, but I'll take it. All right. Apologies to Mitch Flower Power. We were going to have him on today to talk about the fact that he just reclaimed the 100% world record of Super Mario Bros. 3, but we ran out of time. But congratulations for that.
What's going on? Who?
There's a Canadian guy who has the world record for beating Super Mario Bros. 3 as fast as possible.
Are you going to try and beat him next?
No, I mean, he's dedicated years of his life. He's a Canadian guy, eh?
Okay,
and there was
cool.
just a McLean's
Congrats.
article about him where, like, I guess they want to see, like, I didn't read the article yet, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But like the summary I saw, it was like on the Discover page on Twitter talking about like what someone's brain does during speed running. And I guess they're trying to make the argument that like the pattern recognition and that sort of skill set, that the same way that you want old people to like keep using their brains to do Sudoku and stuff, that like the sort of hardcore mindset you need to do speed running at that level is similarly like really exercising your brain in a sort of unique way.
No, I believe it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. It's cool science.
All right. Congratulations, Mitch.
So
Okay.
now that we all know that Ben and I are chaotic neutral, you
Yeah.
may proceed with those memes, you know.
Oh.
I don't know
well,
what
we
it
can't
looks
take up
like.
the same box.
No, because we're the same. But I feel like Ben's probably more evil. I think if he redid it, he would land on.
But I don't want to be the
evil.
chaotic and evil square. That's like a terrible place to be.
I don't know. No, you could be any of these. They probably tell you you're good no matter
So
what.
wait,
the
if there's a
category.
grid of 9, who else in the Simply Nailogical universe gets a square on the grid if people want to try to make this?
My sister Jen.
Okay, Jen. My brother Matt.
She's kind of evil, you know. She's always trying to.
Jen's
mess
a little
around with it.
mischievous,
Yeah,
you know?
your brother's definitely good in like a mathematical altruism. He'd probably want to calculate society to make it fair for everyone.
Okay. Sure. Okay. That sounds okay. Who else goes on there?
My dad is the senior, the good senior.
He's the family
the
members you don't
family
respect.
member.
Okay.
Menchie,
Menchie and Zyler should
Menchie
be on
is
there
like
somewhere.
lawful princess of the land.
She is the queen.
Zyler's kind of
Zyler's
chaotic.
evil. Zyler's chaotic evil.
He's so chaotic when he meows to go outside.
When he meows, he just wants attention more than anything. Every
Yeah.
morning until I hold him and caress him,
Until he sits on
he's
you.
just yowling.
He wants to sit on his family.
I'm in meetings like these days, and like I'll have to mute myself just because Zyler's in the back going, ow, ow. And I'm trying to have like serious discussions with people about things.
He's chaotic.
He's insane. Like, why? I've never heard a cat make noises like that.
He sounds like a person.
I've had a few people ask me if there's a baby in the house. Yeah.
You had a baby?
Yeah, quarantine was busy.
Oh my god. All right, there you go. Chaotic, neutral. Ben might have to redo his. I feel like we got a misread.
Well, hook me up to a lie detector next time.
Fib finder. All right, everyone. Have.
Are you doing all right there? Happy Taco Tuesday.
My brain is chaotic. Yeah, I was gonna wish everyone a happy Taco Tuesday. I hope that you're all doing well. I hope that you've had a great week, and I hope that if you have the opportunity to, you're gonna have some tacos tonight, maybe, or just, you know, look at some on the internet.
Okay.
I don't know.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next Taco Tuesday.
Thanks so much for watching. We'll see y'all later. Bye.